Bobby Fish against Jeff Hardy. We've got Jericho taking on Santana. We got Deonna Purrazzo defending her Ring of Honor Women's Championship. I don't know if that is the belt. I know it's a Ring of Honor belt. My guess is the Women's Championship. I don't know if there's like a Women's Intercontinental or anything that they've got. I don't think so. But defending against Mercedes Martinez. We've got Blackpool Combat Club taking on Butcher, Blade, and Angelico. We've got Wardlow taking on a mystery opponent that's been heavily teased as Big Cass, who I think goes by the name Morrissey now. But the only thing I would say is that it would be a very MJF thing to do, to tease someone and then deliver someone different. So, I don't know. We'll have to see if that's who we get. And then Varsity Blondes and House of Black on a collision course of some kind. I don't know if they're having a match. I don't know if it's a face-to-face thing. All I know is that Julia Hart does my head in, and this storyline is still going. She's been a moody, petulant child for months now, and we seem to be circling back around, and I'm guessing it's time to pull the trigger and for her to actually join House of Black. So I can only imagine that's why we've circled back to this. So it looks like that's where we're heading with that story. So, yeah, I mean, look, there's a few things on the show tonight. I think the Wardlow story is very good. Blackpool Combat Club, this should be another relatively comfortable win for them. Couple of matches in the Owen Hart tournament. A lot of excitement about seeing Deonna Purrazzo. There's a lot of people excited about watching her compete here. So, yeah, I mean, look, it's another week. It's another fairly stacked offering from AEW. They do a very good job of that, in all credit to them. They do a very good job of stacking the cards, getting some interesting matches on, and, making sure that they promote it and tell you what you can expect to see. And that's exactly what we've got here. As we said, WWE, not that I want to be comparing them, but WWE, when it comes to Raw and everything, are not as good as letting us know what's going to be on that show as what AEW are about advertising Dynamite. One of the things I wanted to get into, hello everyone, one of the things that I wanted to get into was about, James Chadwick said, on Dark, Pillman Jr. told Black to come and get her. Good. Are they tired of babysitting her? And they're like, look, we don't need this petulant child. Come and get her. Come and pick her up. Good. I hope they've had enough. All she's done is sat moody in the corner. Like, I have to believe that they've been having conversations with her backstage. In a kayfabe storyline, yeah, if she was like a nice bouncy cheerleader with you, and then all of a sudden after she got spat in the face by Aleister Black, she turned into what she's become, you would be having conversations backstage going, like, you'd probably take her out to Disneyland or something for the day. Do you know what I mean? You'd be like trying to cheer her up, take her to a concert, One Direction. I don't know what girls of that age are into, right? But basically, you'd be like trying to, come on, mate, come on. And if she's still going to be like moody after all this time, after everything you've tried, then fair play to the Varsity Blondes. Fair play for them saying, come and get her. Just come and pick her up. We'll be in the car park between 1 and 3 on Wednesday. Just come and pick her up. We've had enough. We've got all her belongings. Yeah. She comes with some food. We've got some food for her, so a little bit of drink as well. She's got her own bed that she can sleep on, so we'll chuck that in as well. But just come and pick her up. Just come and pick her up. But yeah, the one thing I was going to talk about was the video game, right? I was going to talk about the video game because there's lots of rumors at the moment that Ukes and Kenny Omega have fallen out. And I don't think this is a massive deal. I don't know how bad the falling out is. You know how these things can get blown out of proportion. I would imagine there are frustrations because this game feels like it's been in development for a long time. And initially I heard that they were going to look to have this thing ready kind of more towards the early part of this year. And then, now as we've kind of got into the year, this thing's still not ready. And now we're starting to hear, like, it's going to be Christmas time, and it's still not finished. Apparently, it's over its release date. It's over its budget. They're having to now cut features out of the game that were meant to be in the game, but because it's gone so over budget, they're now, having to cut things back. So I could understand Kenny being frustrated. I don't think it'll affect the game. I think that it's not like 2K20 when they just had to release it. They got to a point where we've just got to get it out. I think that this thing, they are making sure it's right. They know the first game's going to have a big impact. They know it's a new franchise. If this first game bombs, it's going to be even harder to win people over and convince them. Just like how 2K22 was hard to convince people that it wasn't just another Botchasaurus mess. And that it was worth getting. So, they've got to get this first one right. Kenny's playing it, is a big, gamer. He knows what gamers want. He knows what he looks for in a game. So, yeah, I do think it's interesting. I don't think it's anything that massive. This isn't like, oh my God, there's a big falling out between Ukes and Kenny and AEW. And I just don't feel like it's that big of a story. But it is interesting. It is interesting. It does show that, this project has certainly not been plain sailing. Vape Ross Vape said, excuse me, Julia is joining the House of Edge. Oh, is she going over to WWE, is she? WWE? Vape Ross Vape said, that's nothing. My wife's been moody for 20 years. But in all fairness, Vape Ross Vape, if you had the option of putting your wife out in a car park and telling to the House of Black, come and pick her up, I think you would do it. I think you would do it, wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean? If you had the ability to go into the ring on AEW Dark with a microphone and say directly to the House of Black, come and get her, I think you would do that. And I think many guys in the chat that have got moody partners, and dare I say girls as well, we're not being sexist here. Yeah, I'm sure many girls as well, if their partners are moody, would love to say to the House of Black, come on round, come and get them. Take them away. Yeah, they could come and join your cult. Yeah, I don't want them anymore. They're absolute happiness vacuums. So just take them away. I'm done. I'm done with all this. It'd be good, actually, if there was a service like that you could ring, just like a phone line. And they get taken somewhere nice. Do you know what I mean? I don't want them taken somewhere like to prison. But, they can go off and, I don't know, perhaps they'd enjoy being moody around other moody people. Perhaps there could be like a moody person asylum. I'm pretty sure I would be the king of that asylum. But they'd be my people. They would be my people. I'd be looking out on the balcony like this. Like, hello, everyone. I hope you have a rubbish day. Because I am moody. But I just think, sometimes moody people love being around moody people. It's probably better for them as well. So we'll see. We'll see where she ends up tonight. But Vape Ross Vape, shout out to you. Women are known for that at a certain time of the month and have earned a reputation, says Jilly. Well, I, to be honest, my experience, it's not just a certain time of the month. It's the month. Vape Ross Vape said, I did that and they returned her. Oh, goddamn. Maybe they'll do that with Julia Hart as well. Perhaps Varsity Blondes will get rid of her tonight. Like that. And then next day, bing bong. And they open the door and there's a human-sized box that's moving. Is there someone in there? Open it up. I think there's some. Oh, it's Julia. Oh, they've gone and posted her back. Oh, God. She was too moody for the House of Black. What if the House of Black can't cope with her? What if the House of Black give up? Imagine them trying to have a conversation with her and she's still sat in the corner being moody. And they're like, forget this. Forget this. It was a lot more fun when she wasn't here. We'll see. We'll see. Will Enzo be there tonight? I don't think so. I think they seem to be implying more that it's going to be Big Cass, who's been doing some work in Impact. I think he, as he said, he goes by the name Morrissey. If you want to find a moody person, the Smiths' lead singer's a good starting point. His name's Morrissey as well. But I'm thinking it's likely to be him. But as I said at the start, like, it would be very MJF to kind of imply someone and then actually not deliver them. So, you know, him saying you can't teach that, dropping all these hints, and then someone else comes out. You know, if he can upset the fans, annoy the fans, irritate the fans, that would be a very MJF thing to do. So, I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it. But it's probably looking more likely than not that it will be Big Cass Morrissey. Daniel said, did you see the segment that AEW released on the Blackpool Combat Club on Twitter? It was unbelievable. Regal is so good. I didn't, to be honest. I did see, I did see a clip that had Regal's face quite big, and it had, like, the other members in the background, but I didn't click on it because I just thought it was going to be a video package. So I was like, I don't know. I didn't really think about it. I just presumed it was like a video package hyping up Blackpool Combat Club. So if it's something new, an original, or like a promo or something, then I'll have to go and check it out. Pete said the game wasn't meant to be the beginning of the end of the year for the game. Well, I heard early, when they started working on it, I heard that they were looking at Q2, which would be March, April, through till June-ish. Because then I think you've got July to September, and then maybe that would be Q3, and then like October onwards would be Q4. So Q2 is what I initially heard, but now it has moved again. As we said, it's running late. It's over budget. There's a bit of drama kicking off. Regal is a national treasure. I don't like my camera. My camera seems to be glitching a little bit. He is a national treasure. Very odd question. Have you thought about what you will do or what will happen to the figures, DVDs, and Kids Magazine when you give up the ghost? Have I thought about what I'm going to do when I die? Is that the question? No. I mean, first of all, what do I care? And second of all, I don't even know what I'm doing next week, let alone what am I going to do when I die. So, no, I haven't. I'm thinking more about how do I make sure this camera works. Right now, that's where my thoughts are. I'm not sure that Cass is popular enough that it could be worth teasing him. It's a good point. Yeah, I must admit, I'm not going to lose my mind if Big Cass comes walking out. He was someone that struggled on the main roster. He was good with Enzo, but when they put him on his own, he, again, you know, just big guy, not that much of a personality. In-ring was quite limited. I feel like you could take him and teach him and give him a character, give him a gimmick, do something with him. I don't feel like he's completely useless. I don't think that, like, you know, he should get out of wrestling or anything, but I just think that he wasn't good enough to stay in WWE. They couldn't figure out what to do with him, and you know, we moved on, and he's gone to Impact. So if he's going to come out now, fine. Do you know what I mean? I mean, he's got a good size to him. Yeah, it'll be nice to see him again because it's been a while. I've only seen him once since he left WWE. So, and there might be quite a few people that haven't seen him at all. So, yeah, you know, I ain't going to lose my mind over it, but it's a nice little thing for a Wednesday show. Do you know what I mean? You're not getting that on, like, Raw or SmackDown, where they're bringing in these people, blasts from the past, kind of one-off type things, you know? It's nice. It's nice. They did it, actually. Probably the last time I remember them doing it was with Heath Slater. Do you remember when they brought Heath Slater in during lockdown? And they had Heath Slater asking Drew for a shot at the title, and he'd cut that promo. It's really good. That was cool. And then he ended up having, like, it was the squash match, wasn't it? Didn't he get, like, Claymore kicked and lost? And that was it. I don't know why we did that, to be honest. I don't know why we did that, but it was nice to give him that moment and have him cut a promo and everything. But, yeah, fair play to AEW for doing that. He's cleaned up his act, and he is amazing now, says Heather. Okay. Regal in the segment was roughing Utah up and showing him all sorts of dirty tactics and holds, whilst cutting a fantastic promo over the top with Moxley and Bryan looking on. I'm afraid since AEW ratings are sinking, says Corey. I think everyone's ratings are sinking because of NBA. It's not just AEW. So I think the Raw ratings came out and that was 1.58. So that one struggling to hold at 1.6 as well. So I think it's the NBA playoffs that are having a factor at the moment. So yeah, AEW certainly not alone on that. Jilly said, give him a chance. Morrissey, Big Cass has turned his life around. He got help with substance abuse, and he's made good on commitments and dealings with folks going forwards. Would you rather Real Madrid win the Champions League or Liverpool do the quadruple? I would probably go Real Madrid. I support English teams and wanted an All-England final, but as I said the other day, if it was going to be Man City against Liverpool, I would have backed Man City. I think if Liverpool are going for the quads, that is something that's going to directly affect me as a Man United fan. Because I would say the biggest achievement or the most trophies one would be Man United with the treble. So I think no club's done four, like all four. So Liverpool being the first ones to do that would obviously then mean Man United can't be the first ones to do that. So that kind of becomes bigger than that match. So yeah, I would back Real Madrid. But I'd hate doing it. I mean, what I'm hoping happens is I'm hoping Liverpool don't win the league. Then they can have the FA Cup and they can have the Champions League, and I'll quite happily support them in the final. But if it is going to be that they just need to beat Real Madrid to get the quads, then I suppose I'll have to just hope that Real Madrid edges it. I mean, Real Madrid getting a 14th is not what I want at all. It's not what I want at all. I really wanted Man City going through today. But, yeah, I mean, if they win a 14th, you know, I mean, they're already at 13. Do you know what I mean? They're already miles away from Man United. Man United ain't going to close them down anytime soon. So, you know, them gaining an extra one doesn't massively affect me. I just don't like seeing them do it and pulling further ahead. But the quad would affect me more so. I'd have to say Real Madrid, but I'd much rather support an English team. So my bigger hope is that Man City win the Premier League. Then, as I said, Liverpool can have the FA Cup. They can have the Champions League, and I'll quite happily support them in the Champions League. Would you rather have a 5-star classic with Kenny or a 10-star classic with CM Punk? What the hell's a 10-star classic? I don't know. If I have to answer, I'd say, well, I'd have a 10-star. Would I rather have a 5-star match or a 10-star? It doesn't matter, does it? If you're wrestling Kenny or CM Punk, it doesn't really make a difference, so I'll take the 10-star. It was a mistake from Pep, says Bakayuka. The NBA playoffs are dominating anyone's ratings at the moment. They have to get taken with a pinch of salt. Donald said, I can't believe they had Real Madrid Man City on CBS here in Chicago. It was dramatic at the end. Very dramatic. Subbing off De Bruyne after 72 minutes is mind-boggling, says Bakayuka. Morrissey is a babyface in Impact. He's doing some good work. He tags with Jordan Grace at the last Impact pay-per-view. How are you a United fan who wants Liverpool and City to win trophies? Mainly because I don't get dictated to. So I don't feel a pressure of having to, like, you know, that whole idea of how can you call yourself a Man United fan and you want to see Liverpool, Man City win each other, I just think that is playground, childish BS. Like, I've explained many, many times that for me, like, I want to see the English players doing well because it's great for the English national team. And also, I just love the fact that it's great for the Premier League. It's great advert for the Premier League. I think that, it's great that England and English clubs just keep dominating in Europe, keep winning these European Cups. And I see like Real Madrid as much as a rival of Man United as what Liverpool are and as what Man City are. I see Bayern Munich as much as a rival. It doesn't really matter who's winning a European Cup. In this day and age in particular, where, there's so, like, social media. I mean, you can go on there and there's, like, loads of Real Madrid fans, loads of Barcelona fans. I mean, back in the day, I could understand it because you wouldn't really encounter them. Because before the internet, you would go to work and you ain't bumping into a Real Madrid fan. You ain't going to bump into a Barcelona fan at work. So I can kind of understand back in the day because you'd walk into work and you're going to, be having conversations with Liverpool fans and all this kind of stuff. In this day and age, where you've got social media and the world is just more vocal and a smaller place, if you will, it's just not a factor. It's just really not a factor. And I think anyone going around going, you're not a real blah blah fan, Man United fan, or you're not a real Chelsea fan, or you're not a real Liverpool fan, like, how can you want these other teams to win? First of all, who the hell are you to say that? Second of all, I've never succumbed to that kind of peer pressure, so jog on. And like all of that is just BS. And if you are controlled by that kind of narrative, well, that's on you, innit? That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's on you. That suggests that you're a relatively weak person because you are allowing others to dictate what your actions are. So no one tells me what to do. If I want to support Liverpool in the final, I'll support Liverpool in the final. If I want to support Chelsea in the final, I'll support Chelsea in the final. And I'll do what I want to do. And I don't need to worry about anyone like dictating to me. So yeah, it's just that's something that does pop up from time to time where people say that. It's just absolute BS. It's absolute BS. You support who you want to support. You do what you want to do. And don't worry about anyone trying to dictate to you about what the right or wrong thing to do is. And as I said before, if you are that kind of person that will allow others to do that, you need to really have a look at yourself because you are just being dictated to. In this day and age, as I said, if Real Madrid win another one, well, they've then won 14 Champions Leagues. That is miles ahead of Manchester United. And I'm thinking, how the hell do we catch up with that? I'm focused on how do we catch up with Real Madrid. Don't bother me if Man City win their first. If Man City win their first, what do I ain't bothered. Well done. Well done. I'm pleased for their fans. It's great when you win a European Cup. I've been fortunate enough to see it twice in my lifetime. So, I'm really pleased for them. Don't bother me. I would have been fine with seeing Man City win it. And what great experience for Foden and Sterling and Stones and Walker. That experience then carries over to the England national team. And I really think there is a very strong connection between the English national team doing as well as what they are at the moment and how well the clubs are doing. Like, that is not a coincidence. Foden, Trent, Mount, all these players getting into Champions League finals and getting that experience, getting that big match experience is helping the England national team. And if I was to just hate on every English team that wasn't Man United, first of all, I'd be pretty grumpy, pretty moody. And second of all, the England national team wouldn't get anywhere. They just wouldn't be getting. I mean, like, if I've got to wait for Man United to bring a European Cup back to England, I don't know if I'm going to ever see it again right now. Absolutely rubbish. And I'll be the first to admit it. Legend Killer, shout out to you. Appreciate the support. We are 5 minutes away. 5 minutes away from AEW. As we said, tonight we've got Deonna Purrazzo taking on Mercedes Martinez for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. We've got Dante Martin taking on Fenix. We've got Bobby Fish taking on Jeff Hardy. Jericho against Santana. Blackpool Combat Club taking on Butcher, Blade, and Angelico. Didn't Jack Evans go? It's going to be. I think Jack Evans has gone, hasn't he? So it's going to be quite interesting to see what happens with Angelico. Because I don't know if he is going to go solo or join a faction or, as I said, rejoin a new tag team or something. Or if they're even going to look to part ways. Like, maybe they'll part ways with him. I really don't know. So I'll be interested to see him in action. Wardlow taking on a mystery opponent. And as we said, we think it's Big Cass. Morrissey, we've been talking about that. And then, obviously, we started talking with Varsity Blondes against House of Black. What's going to happen with Julia? Will she be sent back from the House of Black if they do come and pick her up tonight? So we'll have to see what plays out there. In regards to news, I must admit, outside of the video game, I haven't really seen much. I know that they did let go. Was it Stu Grayson? Stu Grayson? So they let go of him, I believe. And I've had a few people commenting saying about, like, why are they letting go of all these people? Why are they letting these people go? And it's like, well, to be perfectly honest, I think there was a little bit more to his. I didn't actually get a chance to read if he just didn't want to re-sign or if there was a little bit of trouble backstage or what it was. I'm sure many of you will probably have a good idea as to what happened there. But I think this is very natural anyway. Regardless, I think this is very natural. I think you're going to get to the point where the roster is quite bloated and needs trimming, and, you know, maybe some of that talent that was deemed good enough at the start of AEW is not quite good enough in this current landscape. You've been able to bring in the likes of Thunder Rosa, Ruby Soho, CM Punk, Bryan Danielson. You know, this is a very different AEW compared to the one that started. So the one that started required a certain level of talent. Where we are now is undeniably higher because things have grown and got better and improved, and they've brought in better levels of, wrestlers and better caliber of wrestler that have come in. And so I think that, you know, look, a Stu Grayson or someone, he did a job in the Dark Order, and I'm sure that people enjoyed watching him, and who knows, maybe AEW wanted to even keep him, but I can't be alone in thinking it's not the biggest loss in the world. Same with the likes, I know we keep saying Joey Janela, Sonny Kiss, Jack Evans, whatever, like Marco Stunt, like these names, I just think they're fine. One thing Tony Khan is doing is he's seemingly allowing their contracts to run down. So their contracts are running down, and then his, parting ways to them there, not renewing. It's not like WWE where they're just, budget cuts. Thanks a lot, bye. Job today, gone tomorrow type thing. So I do respect that. I respect the fact that they are, if you're in AEW, you know exactly how long you've got left. I would imagine he tells them in plenty of time, like, we won't be looking to, like, renew type thing. So, yeah, I got respect for that. But, a few other names leaving recently. And obviously that's on top of the likes of Big Swole, isn't it, as well? Big Swole has gone. Brad said Dark Order hasn't been the same after Brody Lee passed. Brenton said, what are your thoughts on the AEW game? Will you buy it? To be honest, I don't know. I really don't know. I would be really tempted to... Well, I think I'll see the reviews. I mean, I wanted to know the reviews of 2K22, but, that came through on IGN as an 8. I didn't get round to getting it. I said that an 8 would be what would make me, look at it and go and get it. And so certainly an 8 is a great score. But to be perfectly honest, I mean, if 2K22, it'll drop down to like £20 at some point, and maybe I get it then. Do you know what I mean? I've got no plans to make videos on it. So if I am getting it, I'm only getting it for recreational purposes. Just to, have a play and give it a go, whatever. So, yeah, I think, like, I would be really tempted to pick that up if it was cheap. In regards to AEW, yeah, I would. Again, I'd be tempted to have a look. I'd be tempted to have a look at it when it came out, but it depends how it scores. Right, we should be going over to AEW. Good question with WWE and AEW. They're not the same. It's all just wrestling. AEW offered him a new contract and they just couldn't reach terms, but AEW are confident that he could come back when he wants, as they do want him back. Okay. Well, as I said, I personally, and, you know, I don't mean this any disrespect, I don't think this is the biggest loss in the world. I don't think it is a big problem at all. Angelico is in Andrade's group. Oh, what? Has he joined? Has he? Shout out, Ronnie. Hope you are well. Right. We have Jeff Hardy making his way down. So it's going to be, we have started. It is going to be Jeff Hardy taking on, I think, was it Bobby Fish? And here comes Bobby Fish. Are you buying Ultimate WWE toys? Yes and no. I mean, as I said, in regards to the game, I would buy the AEW game. If the reviews come out and it's like an 8, I'll look at it. I'll be really interested. Again, I don't know if 8 would be enough for me to go, here's 50 quid type thing. Because again, in my mind, I'm thinking, this isn't for the channel. This is just going to be recreational. I think if it's getting like 8.5, 9, then, you know, we're starting to get like, this is a really special wrestling game. Because a lot of them come out, they're about 7. So if you've got one that's 8.5, 9, like, you know, you've got something really special. I do expect them to deliver on the game. You know, maybe my expectations are even a little bit too high, and maybe I should rein them in a bit. But I do think that Kenny Omega is like a real passionate gamer. I think this is the first time they're making a game. I don't care about graphics. I just want a game that's really fun to play. So I've seen a lot of people going, what are these graphics? You know, and then other people going, oh, you know, they're still working on it, give them time. I don't care. It doesn't make no difference to me. I don't buy a game really necessarily for the graphics. You know, I think we've seen this before where graphics improve, but the game doesn't. They just literally put a new shiny coat of paint on. That doesn't do it for me. Doesn't do it for me. I want a game that's really fun to play. Really, really fun to play. Look at Fire Pro. Look at Fire Pro Wrestling. The graphics on that are awful. The graphics on that, they're just little tiny figures like this. Do you know what I mean? They're nothing special at all. I mean, not super high def realistic, but what a game. Wrestling fans love Fire Pro. So I do think the whole graphic thing is really overrated. I think as long as you've just got a really fun, enjoyable game, that's what's important. So hopefully they can deliver that. And in regards to the Ultimate figures, if I can find them in shops, then yes. But ordering online is something I never enjoy doing, as we've discussed many times. Jeff Hardy has got Bobby Fish in the corner, driving his shoulder into the midsection. James said green shirt guy is in the front row. He is indeed. He is indeed. Nice strike coming into the midsection. Finbar said, I wonder how long this Jeff Hardy match will be. You're waiting for it to be $1.99 on Steam. Do you know, I was quite excited, actually, because in the press release, they said that AEW game's going to be available for PC. And I did think Steam, and I was like, oh, And then I thought, hang on, I'm sure 2K22's on PC as well. So I was like, why are you getting excited for that? When you could go and get a wrestling game now if you wanted to. I mean, I would never buy 2K20. But, yeah, you are absolutely right. I could see me getting 2K22 when it drops in price. Clothesline by Bobby Fish, keeping Jeff Hardy down. Larry, shout out to you. My Brody Lee and -1 arrived. I've kept it in the box, and I'm going to keep it on display. It's a very cool figure. Alan said, do you know how long Hardy's contract is with AEW? It's good while I enjoy them wrestling. I don't know if that's been announced, to be honest. I don't know if that's information that has come out, but I would imagine it's for a couple of years, I would think. Let's have a look. Jeff Hardy, AEW contract. AEW matches new contracts for the Hardys. Matt Hardy's AEW contract was extended to match Jeff's. Has that got any information? Matt Hardy's deal has been extended. Makes perfect sense. I've extended my contract. They've matched me up with Jeff. Since Jeff's release in December, there was a lot of interest. Matt debuted in March of 2020. Jeff's 90 day, and then he was a free agent. No, it doesn't actually say how long it was for. Just that they extended Matt Hardy's to match it. I reckon it'll be a couple of years. So yeah, I think you've got plenty of time to enjoy Jeff. I mean, they've got a lot of stories they can tell. Not only have they got the Hardys, but Jeff's also someone that you can have go solo, so. A commercial in the first 7 minutes of the show, says Lone Star Friends. I said on Twitter, Fight Forever is a rubbish name for a game. And boy, did that AEW stands off. I mean, it's social media, dude. If you share an honest opinion on social media... I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? Because if you think about all the conversations you have in your life, when you're at work or down the pub or whatever it might be, you might say something, but you're just saying it to someone, you know, one or two people that are there, and if they disagree, you can have a little conversation about it, and you're face to face, and do you know, I mean, it's all quite civil. It's just so weird with social media that when you say something like that, rather than being in a pub amongst friends, but just say it on social media, that it just, you know, attracts this visceral... It's like, it's weird, isn't it? You share an honest opinion, and then people just can't go, yeah, respect. I've said before, I think that the initial message on Twitter is fine. If it's a positive, like, you know, it's nothing to do with, like, you know, hurting people, or it's not a sexist comment or a racist comment. It's just something like that. Like, I don't like the name of the new AEW game, right? Fine. Yeah, not fine. But how people don't have the ability to just look at that and go, okay. Instead, you get people jumping in, don't you? Just... I bet you're an e-drone or whatever they call them or whatever. It's always like those follow-up messages that seem to cause the problems. Yeah, it's a cesspool, man. It'll be interesting to know what Elon Musk's going to do with it. It'll be really interesting. I don't know. I saw him say that he's going to start charging businesses to go on Twitter. Just seeing Darby and... Sting up in the rafters as this match continues. We do have Jeff and Bobby in the ring. So, yeah, long way round, but it is going to be interesting to see what Elon Musk does with Twitter. I did see some really fun tweets, actually. Someone had tweeted, I can't believe Elon Musk has only just taken over Twitter and he's already changed the colour of the like and the retweets. Right? And of course, he hasn't. But this tweet had like thousands of likes and thousands of retweets because people wanted to see if it was true. And it's clever, man. That was clever. I understand that I didn't do it, but if I'd have liked it, I would have just unliked it. As soon as I saw it was the same colour, I would have just undone it, but thousands of people didn't. Or maybe thousands of people just appreciated the joke. But yeah, I thought that was very good. Jeff Hardy in control. I said I hadn't heard that chant in AEW, and I got told to go and get my ears checked and that I was an idiot. Well, listen, James. You're not alone. It happens to us all, mate. It happens to us all. I think Tony letting contracts run out is a bit iffy. Are the wrestlers allowed to look for new work whilst under contract, or do they also one day have a job and the next day they don't, and there's pros and cons? No, I don't think it's iffy at all. I think that if you say to someone, I want your services for the next 2 years, there's no guarantee that once that comes to an end, they're going to look to extend. So I think if Tony has said, thank you, I'm not looking to extend your deal, but I really appreciate your services. If they turned around and went, look, do you mind if I go to an interview? Maybe he has that conversation 3 months out or something. I would say that as long as they can make the required TV dates, then if I'm Tony Khan, then yes, I'm allowing them to go to interviews and other work and, whatever they need to do. It's a hell of a lot better than how WWE do it. He's got a hold of the leg here. Bobby Fish. Fish hook. Crowd's into this one. As Jeff gets over to the ropes. I think every social media apart from Wrestling Days should be deleted. I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do with social media, to be honest. I don't know. Back elbow by Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy going up top. Hardy with a leg drop. Bobby Fish down. Hardy going over to the corner. Any idea when the Owen Hart tournament starts? Well, is this just qualifying, is it? Swanton by Hardy. Don't know. In my mind, it started. We're seeing matches in it. It's kind of like when they have the qualifying King of the Ring matches. That's kind of like King of the Ring starting for me. But when the tournament actually begins, I'm not sure. He crushed him with that swanton. He did. Jeff Hardy wins. If Tony Khan lets Peter Avalon's contract run out, I will boycott AEW, says Ron. We got the Young Bucks coming down. Young Bucks. There's no need to feel down, I said. Young Bucks. Pick yourself off the ground. I just hope Jeff can stay clean for this run. On WWE 2K22, if you kick out of the computer's finisher, the crowd chants "Fight Forever." Young Bucks in there, face to face with the Hardys. Young Bucks coming down to check on Bobby Fish. So, little face-to-face there. Young Bucks basically grew up on the Hardy Boys, said, hustle for love. Larry said, I've been asking for that match since last summer. I call it AEW in the ring, not King of the Ring. Is this the same one on Twitter? Scars are the things that separate us. It is a good promo. Oh, I hate the way that it cuts away from them, though. I hate the way that it cuts away from those promos. That promo is so good, and then it's like, do you know what I mean? It's so jarring. It's like, I've said before, every second seems to count in AEW, like, from a timing point of view. And I just think you've got this really dark, really, like, intense, Regal looking at the camera, and then it's AEW, yeah, we're back in the original. You know what I mean? It's like, so jarring. I just wish they would, and I've said it so many times, I just wish they would let those promos just breathe for a second. I think it just needs like a we're back. Do you know what I mean? It just needs something, just a moment for you to just take in what you've just seen. Like, the way they cut from the promos back to the arena is way too quick. Way too quick. But it was a lovely promo. I like a lovely line in there where he said, if you gave 100 people a knife, 99 would stab the person in the world they hated the most. The members of the Blackpool Combat Club wouldn't. We would cut down the cheek to leave a scar so that every time you looked in the mirror, you would remember us. Which, do you know what I mean? It's a good line, man. It's a really good line. It's a really, really good line. Blackpool Combat Club then against Butcher, Blades, and Angelico. Wonder if Enzo will show up tonight. Big Cass needs Enzo. It's one of the reasons why I love Impact. Impact Faithful allows people to have an opinion. I've got a copy of 2K22 on Xbox if you want. I just wanted the Supercard QR code. I can send it over. I don't have an Xbox, but I really appreciate the gesture. But as I said, you know, I mean, once it drops in price, I'll probably end up having a look at it anyway. But very kind, dude. Very kind. Right, Butcher just jumping onto Moxley. Why can't Blackpool Combat Club just have one entrance, says Zoom Station. Right, we're in the ring with Yuta on the outside. They are doing some really... I feel like Blackpool Combat Club is in a good place and doing some really good stuff. I've said before, though, this is just from a selfish point of view, but I do miss Danielson being solo. The quality of his solo matches was so high. It was such an enjoyable thing to watch him wrestle one-on-one. That him being in a team, like, it's great for the team, and I really like Blackpool Combat Club, but I do miss Danielson one-on-one matches. It's one of those, though, isn't it? You can't have him in the Blackpool Combat Club and having solo matches and all this kind of stuff. So it's a sacrifice. Roll up by Danielson. Kick coming in by Danielson. I really don't think the Blackpool Combat Club should struggle too much here. I understand people are going to have that opinion that, you can't bury the whole roster and everything, but I think, you've got to get behind these guys. These guys feel like they've got something. And if they do have to get a squash win over Butcher, Blade, and Angelico, then so be it. Man in the Mask. He does keep calling him Man in the Mask, doesn't he, rather than Excalibur. Nice chop there. Strike coming in by Angelico. Big back body drop by the Blades. Arm drag by Yuta. Yeah, he's been great as well since he's come in. He's been great. Blackpool Combat Club guys should wrestle solo matches. Not every match has to be 6-man. Do you know, I must admit, I'm not a fan of tag teams wrestling solo matches. I do think, though, that for Blackpool Combat Club, you could make an exception, right? And the reason why I say that is because the Blackpool Combat Club are all about testing themselves to the extreme and taking themselves to the limits and bleeding, right in BCC in blood. And what we just saw there with Regal saying how the Blackpool Combat Club would leave a scar so that you would always remember them. This is... Wheeler Yuta's got blood on his ring gear. That's the pattern on his ring gear. I sort of feel like it wouldn't be the worst idea to have them having solo matches, but maybe having matches where they take on, low-level tag teams. They put themselves... They're the kind of guys that would put themselves into handicap matches with them at the odds against them. I could see Wheeler Yuta putting himself in a match against, a random tag team. He might not win it. He might get absolutely battered in it. He might put up a really good fight, and it could be a hell of a fight. It could be a hell of a fight. Imagine Wheeler Yuta versus Gun Club, or the two kids, not all three of them, but the two Billy Gunn kids. That could be a really interesting match, because Wheeler Yuta, trying to win that match, and them two tagging in, wearing him down, but he keeps coming back, and they can't put him away, and, it looks like then he's getting some momentum, and there even comes a point where he might win it, and it's super close, but in the end, the Gun Club get the win, right? I wouldn't bury the Gun Club that way, but in the end, they get the win. But Yuta doesn't lose anything there, And again, he can say, look, my goal, my aim is not a solo wrestler. I just have to keep pushing myself, keep testing myself, and that was a hell of a test I had tonight. I kind of feel like with them type matches, I think that'd be really good. Or you could go, go challenge Wardlow. Danielson could, try and challenge Wardlow. Put himself in there with Wardlow, who's like a one-man wrecking machine at the moment. Again, Danielson might not win that. But, or he might. Danielson might win that, in all fairness. But let's say he didn't. But he, it's all about testing yourself and being pushed to the limits. For them in those singles matches, the wins and the losses wouldn't matter. It's just about making each individual better for when they come together as the Blackpool Combat Club. And the Blackpool Combat Club as a unit is the unit in AEW. I'd have them as the top. You do not beat Blackpool Combat Club. They are end boss. They are the ultimate. No one is better than Blackpool Combat Club. And the biggest part of their secret is that they do keep testing themselves in those solo matches. They've got no interest in going out there and facing a jobber. They would be appalled if they got put up in against the jobber. No interest in that whatsoever. It's all about pushing yourself. I really love that narrative. I think there's loads you could do with that. But that's why, Blackpool Combat Club taking on Butcher, Blade, and Angelico. For me, this should be a walk in the park for them. I see these as the end bosses. I see these as people that should be going up against in handicap matches 2-on-1. So them as a unit, they should be out. They should be like Real Madrid. When they came back tonight, they were like a hammer. We were talking in that stream about how Real Madrid they were like a hammer at the end of that game, just smashed Man City. That's what Blackpool Combat Club should be. They should be a hammer. They should go in there and just smash teams. And unless you are the absolute top of the tree, like, say, the Undisputed Elite, unless you are like that level, you don't stand a chance against Blackpool Punk. This is just this should be punishment to Butcher, Blade, and Angelico. If they've stepped out of line, their punishment would be a match against Blackpool Combat Club. Angelico goes for a leg sweep. Kick comes in. Against the ropes. Clothesline gets turned inside out. The person suing AEW for their AEW shop not being able for a sight-impaired person is the same one that sued WWE in 2020. And WWE settled quickly out of court. Seems like a repeat offender. I haven't heard about this person, to be honest. Right, all three are in... getting pounded away on here. Getting hammered away on. Lots of yes chants. And this could be the end. Triangle, and that's done it. Brian Danielson has done it with a triangle. Trey said, Days, Tessa Blanchard has a falling out with the company she signed with. I saw that, yeah. Saw that. I would imagine, I think that came from Fightful. If I was Fightful, I would have had that story typed up and just in my drafts folder. Because it's a pretty good chance she was going to need it at some point. She's got that reputation. I think it was Fightful. I mean, I feel like there's probably some truth to that. If it was anyone else, you'd be like, But Fightful are pretty good. Backstage with Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs. Bunny is stopping Bryan Danielson from attacking. I heard the Anjo show talk about it. He is a wrestling streamer with a good reputation. Reports on fake Twitter are reporting Colleen Nolan might be joining Blackpool Combat Club. That would be big. That would be big. Here's Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. You never seem to defend that title, the FTW title. Next week, I'll show you what a real man is all about. Tonight, champion versus champion. The Ring of Honor Women's Champion takes on the Ring of Honor Women's Interim Champion. Wardlow taking on MJF's mystery opponent is up next. Do you know who I would love to see Blackpool Combat Club? Chris Hero, a.k.a. Cassius Ohno. He's got the size and the mean streak, yes, and incredibly passionate about wrestling. If ever you go onto his Twitter account, his knowledge of wrestling, like wrestling history, wrestling moves, is just incredible. He really does love the science of it. He really is a student of it. I completely agree. He would be a good addition. The only problem with him was that he got quite big, didn't he? And he was a bit out of shape. I feel like in Blackpool Combat Club, I don't think that would be tolerated. Like, he would have to get into shape. If he could get into a great physical shape and get fit and everything, I think I definitely, I would agree. Would you have Moxley and Danielson win the tag titles? I would have Blackpool Combat Club win the tag titles and then just do Freebird rule, where any two members can defend them. I know that this is seemingly being set up for the trio belts, so maybe they're getting ready for the trio title. I really think, like, trios could be even more exciting than tags. Tags has been done. Do you know what I mean? Like, tag team wrestling's cool, but I feel that there's something a little bit more street gang about trios. Like, it's an extra person. Like, it starts to feel like a faction more than a tag team. Like, you know, we're starting to get into New Day territory, Shield territory, Freebirds. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're starting to get there. A little bit of evolution. They had 3 members, didn't they, towards the end? I think that the trios thing could be where we're heading with Blackpool Combat Club. I really like them. I do. I really like them. I think I'm loving Utah. They're super over. Who doesn't love Danielson? Moxley was the only one that I was a bit like, not really a Moxley fan, but I think he works here because undeniably he brings aggression, legitimacy. Like, we know that he's got demons and struggles. We know that he loves death matches and pushing himself to the extreme. And I mean, that is just absolutely Blackpool Combat Club, isn't it? He just embodies it. So, yeah, it makes sense. Right, it's going to be Wardlow against mystery opponent. Wardlow versus mystery opponent. Back from commercial break. I do love that Freebird rule and the Freebirds. Are you doing any European games tomorrow? Right now, no. Larry said, he's better than Amos, bigger than Edge. He's big, bad, and ugly, and you can't teach that. We're backstage with Keith Lee and Swerve. Doink is all elite. Jaden, shout out to you. Is the Blackpool... Do you mean BCC? Or do you mean the British Broadcasting Corporation? I feel like the BBC is face here in the UK. The British Broadcasting Corporation. If it's Blackpool Combat Club, then I would say they're faces. I feel like they're violent, but I don't think they don't cheat. They're violent, but they try to win legitimately. So I feel like they're faces. But Jaden, shout out to you. Right, we've got Wardlow making his way. We're just seeing the backstage area. Here he is. Making his way down. He's still handcuffed. Wardlow, 48 wins, 8 losses. If anyone's noticed, Tony has put a light on the entire crowd. He normally has dark green lights on them. He just replied to a tweet saying, "Bring back the bright lights on the crowd." Wardlow, Wardlow in the ring, and now is that MJF's music? Here's MJF. So MJF is here with Sean Spears. Are they trying to make Wardlow entrance similar to Goldberg? I think so. It's got that vibe to it. The crowd are doing a Wardlow chant similar to Goldberg as well. It's working, though. There's no shade. It works. Wardlow is going through the 7 trials, just like he put Jericho through. It's just slightly different, says Jilly. Hustle for Love, shout out to you. Okay, it is him. The big dub, William Morrissey. A man that has never taken an L in his life. He does look to be in great shape. He does, he's got a great physique. How are they going to book this, though? So, Morrissey making his way down to the ring, a.k.a. Big Cass. Yeah, I mean, he's put work in the gym there, and he's put some serious work in the gym. Give him credit for that. He wasn't looking that good in WWE. Hustle for Love, shout out to you. He's juiced to the gills. Almost makes Brian Cage jealous. Okay, so he's towering over Wardlow here. This is going to be a problem for Wardlow. It's a big guy, but it is a big guy we've seen beaten a few times in WWE. But as we said, that was a long time ago, and he certainly didn't look like this then. To tying up, and Wardlow gets out the way. Wardlow chants from the crowds. I really want to watch this because I really want to know like how Morrissey is now. Gets picked up, driven back. That's nice by Wardlow. Quite explosive. A lot of charisma being shown by Wardlow. He just picked up Morrissey, drove him into the corner. Went back to the middle, drew an imaginary line in the sand. Clubbing blows by Morrissey. And again. He's not kind of interacting with the crowd much here, Morrissey. I thought he'd be shouting out at the fans more. I thought he'd be like engaging with them more. Shoulder tackle by Wardlow. Another shoulder tackle. Wardlow backing up. Nice jump by Morrissey. He probably doesn't have to jump that far, though. He's that tall to jump over Wardlow. Clothesline to the outside goes Wardlow. Wardlow lands on his feet. That's a shame. That's a shame the camera cut away from him. Like, Morrissey was just doing something in the ring then. I don't know if it was you can't teach that type thing. But the camera cut away from him and went to Wardlow, so we couldn't quite see what Morrissey was doing in the ring. We want Enzo. No, we don't. Is that the chant? No, we don't. No, we don't. We want Enzo. No, we don't. There we go. That's better by Morrissey. Morrissey engaging with the crowds, telling them to shut up. Morrissey rolling in the ring to break the count. Smacks Wardlow into the edge of the ring. There's we want Enzo. No, we don't chance. Wardlow chants from the crowds. That's what happens when men are accused. Nothing comes of it. Wardlow is looking tiny. You know you're over when another promotion chants your name. Why is Enzo over? Strikes coming in by Wardlow. Against ropes goes Wardlow. Goes for a clothesline. Nice side slam. 2. Shoulder up. Shoulder up by Wardlow. Enzo should just jump MJF and Spears. JJS World said, I would like to see AEW versus WWE. Morrissey putting Wardlow over in the corner. Strike coming into the back of Wardlow. Strikes coming in by Wardlow towards Morrissey. Back elbow and again. Morrissey down in the middle of the ring. Wardlow going up top looking for a moonsault. Very good. Nice by Wardlow. Straps are coming down. Gestures to the crowd. Takes a moment just to engage them. He's got Morrissey in position for the powerbomb. Gets the big man up. Does it really well as well. 1, 2, 3. Wardlow wins. MJF can't believe it. That was fast. Is he going to lash out? Headbutt. Down goes one of the guards. He's beating up the other guards. Wardlow kicks the handcuffs away. Is waiting for more security to come down. MJF's come out. Sean Spears telling more guards to come down. 1 down, 2 down, 3 down. The third one falls into the fourth. The fourth goes down again. This security is atrocious. It is atrocious. All they're doing is just being pushed over. The security is atrocious. I mean, that's not just an AEW thing. WWE have done this as well with rubbish police officers. And of course, they're all just stood on the outside. Of course they were. Of course they were. Why get into the ring and surround him when you can stand on the outside? God, I hate that spot. Right, MJF. We've got a little back and forth here. Let me get this straight. Wardlow's going to kill you, Chan. How would you feel if me and you have a match? If you win, I'll let you out your contract. But what's the twist? Couple of conditions. Contract signing. And that contract signing ain't happening in a dump like this. Next week. That contract signing will happen in the most magical place. He said it will happen in the most magical place in the world. I thought he was going to say Vince McMahon's bedroom. But Long Island, New York is where it's happening. Next, we're going to hear from Hangman Page. I spotted an Ethan Page shirt in the crowd, says Heather. Hustle for Love said, I wish Brock would come to AEW. You've got Dr. Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter taking on Tony Storm and Ruby Soho. Ruby Soho said, I can't listen to you talk for one more second. Why is Tony orange? I don't know. Is that... Is that a natural tan, do you think? I have got a large Timmy stomach. Hello. Hangman Page is still sick. CM Punk is sad. I think they said we're going to hear from him next, so unless that's a pre-recorded thing. I can't see Brock going to AEW. He's a bit larger than life, and WWE give him time away and stuff. I don't think Vince would do whatever it would take to ensure he didn't go to AEW, in all fairness. It's obviously Wardlow MJF at Double or Nothing for Wardlow's contract. They said it months ago. Cass got paid from Tony some great THC and blow and night with Daniel Garcia. We are at commercial break. We're 50 minutes into the show. We've got about an hour and 10 minutes to go. And we have still to come. Got Deonna Purrazzo against Mercedes Martinez. We've got Dante Martin taking on Fenix. We've got Jericho against Santana. We've got Varsity Blondes against House of Black. I don't know if that's a match or if there's just a confrontation. I'm not sure. We'll find out. Who cares what they're wearing? The girls in WWE get no respect from the peers and only a select few matter. Allison said, I would like to go to kill MJF. Like with that band they are chanting, but they are chanting someone else. It's a spray tan. We just had 4 years of spray tanned guy. Richard said Tony Khan is attacked by Undisputed Elite. Hustle for Love said Tony can make it happen. $. Kyantai said, if you like the show so far, Days do 2 claps and a Ric Flair. What does that mean? I've got some great THC. Love seeing Ray Phoenix back. Right. We are, as we said, at commercial break at the moment. I think the show's been all right. I've really enjoyed Blackpool Combat Club. I thought Morrissey was all right. There wasn't really... I wanted to see him engage with the crowd more, as I said at the time. I wanted to see him, like, really berating the crowds. He was very quiet and just kind of quietly went about his work, which was tidy enough, but, you know, there was a nice side slam in there. I don't know. I mean, like, it was tidy, but I don't think I don't know that it's all that memorable. I think his physique was very impressive. Good win for Wardlow. Powerbomb looked great. And obviously that's furthered that story along. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been fine. It's been fine. Okay, Hangman Adam Page is actually there. Hangman's going to be coming out. So, Hangman making his way out. Hangman Adam Page. He's got a nice... I like his shirt. So, Hangman coming down. He's got the belt over his shoulder. This honestly is doing my head in. The webcam constantly being a bit fuzzy. I don't know why it's doing it. What do you want from me? Right, here's Hangman. Hangman looks fantastic. Yeah, he does look great. You one-on-one against CM Punk. What do you think about that? Hangman said it'd be easy for me to come out here and say how much I love CM Punk. I'll just do that then. It's good to have an easy life, innit? So, it'd be easy to tell you how much I respect CM Punk. It would be easy to tell you how excited I am for the match. But that's not going to happen. At Double or Nothing, there won't be a handshake. I'm going to destroy CM Punk. Okay, cool. CM Punk chance. I'd love to see a heel Hangman. Well, it's a bit of a heelish vibe, innit? Look me in the eye. I see you there with the CM Punk shirt. Once I'm done with him, you'll be running back to the merch stand to get a refund. Your beloved CM Punk is not here tonight. I'd say he's off filming another TV show. I don't know if this is a heel turn or if they're just trying to make him more of the heel against Punk being like... Because face versus face, you sort of need someone healing it up a little bit. I mean, I really don't mind this from Hangman. I really like it. I really like that because I think Hangman shouldn't be nice Do you know what I mean? Of course he's going to back himself to beat CM Punk. I could tell you I'm really excited. I could tell you it's going to be a classic, but I'm not going to. I'm going to destroy him. This is business, man. He's coming for my belt. I had to work so hard to get there, and now he's coming for my title. I have no problem with that promo from Hangman Page at all. I really like it. Did you see TBS is bringing out a reality show? I didn't. No. An AEW reality show. At home with the Khans. Keeping up with the Khans. Is that what it is? If you want to get some likes on Twitter, get a poster of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, change it to Keeping Up with the Khans, and put like lots of the Khans where the Kardashians are. And then tweet out, this is the new poster for the AEW reality show. And I think you'd probably get a good reaction to that. Have it. Take it. You have to do a little bit of work, but nothing comes easy in this life. Anything is better than the lame version of the last few months, says Serge. It's good. I really like that. I want a champion that's got a bit of fight in him, a bit of attitude in him. Doesn't have to mean he's a heel, and they could be trying to position him a bit as a heel. I'm not saying they're not doing that. I just really like it. I don't really want him coming out saying, oh, I really respect CM Punk, it's going to be an honor and all that. That's boring. Got Satnam Singh in the background. Jay Lethal. Hangman better win, said Finbar. AEW has the most Tony till date. What does that mean? Right now we've got Santana. Jericho Santana, I think now. AEW stands on Twitter already hate me, so hate doesn't matter. Nah, I think that's funny. Keeping Up with the Khans, I think, is quite funny. I don't think there's anything hateful in that. I completely agree, though, that social media would still be upset. even if you don't intend for it to be like nasty or anything. I just think that's a funny little joke. Go Santana. Keeping Up with the Kardashians would be a hit. Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Right, here comes Jericho of the Jericho Appreciation Society. Can we do halftime scores? You go ahead, sure. I never know when it's hard for this because I never quite know when we're at commercial breaks. You lot go picture in picture, or you lot go to commercial break when I'm still watching the show. The Wizard, Chris Jericho. Is this a new gimmick he's got? The Wizard. I wish they were more... I've said this last week and I'm going to say it again. I wish they were more sports entertainment. Sports entertainment's meant to be goofy and wacky, isn't it? I mean, if you say to someone sports entertainment, you know, they might think of like Friar Ferguson, Mantar. They might think of... Do you know what I mean? Like, I wish they were a bit more sports entertainment in their presentation. This group's meant to be all about sports entertainment. Did I miss some? When did he become the Wizard? I just said it on the little graphic thing. I don't know if it's connected to anything else. I don't know if he said it on being the elite or anything like that, but it just said it on the thing at the bottom is title card or whatever it's called. Need more promos and backstage action like SmackDown days in the video game. Shaquem's giving it a 4. Tim with a 0. Strike by Jericho. Aubrey on the outside. 8 out of 10. Did they call him the Wizards? They did on that thing on the screen where it shows his name. It said the Wizard, Chris Jericho. Jericho gets kicked and goes down. Chop coming in by Santana. AEW is sports entertainment. Pro wrestling is sports entertainment. Sports entertainment is pro wrestling. It's a marketing term. It's a Vince McMahon, creation, isn't it? But there are differences between the two. If you say that you're going to have a pro wrestling show, that implies that it's going to be very focused on storyline and in-ring. And you're going to focus on that. Whereas a sports entertainment show is implying that you're going to be more like the WWE product, where you're going to have weddings. And, we're on the verge of a divorce now with Dana Brooke. And, Ms. TV and those kinds of segments, and, celebrities having matches and all that kind of stuff. That's sports entertainment. What Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville were doing was very much sports entertainment. I don't know how that fits into pro wrestling, because if you look back at the history of pro wrestling, there's been very strong gimmicks and everything, but kayfabe was so important. I think it's something that a lot of young fans really, really forget. I think they really forget that wrestling back in the day was trying to convince people that it was real. So you couldn't do anything that silly or that stupid. You couldn't go that far, because you had to convince people that what they were watching was legit. And they were obviously trying to do that. So a lot of pro wrestling in the past was legit people in the ring, wailing away at each other and match after match after match. And of course you would have the odd interview, of course you would. And eventually some talk show segments would come in, but at its core, everything you was watching was meant to be believable. I think with sports entertainment, I think the concept of trying to convince people that what they're watching is real has very much now been blurred. It's not as straightforward as what pro wrestling was, or hopefully still is, to be honest. I do think that AEW goes into sports entertainment, but I think that you can find a definite difference between the two. Territory wrestling was the best until a certain someone spoiled kayfabe for all, says Heather. Territory wrestling, yeah, very much so. The regional scene, everyone having their own local promotion, and those favourites being on TV, and I bet that was an amazing time for wrestling. And the great thing is there was wrestlers constantly coming in and coming out, so it was always kept quite fresh as, people would rotate around. AEW is an old school pro wrestling, so why do call it? Because pro wrestling booking is different from AEW, New Japan, and the rest. Well, I mean, I honestly think AEW has gone through an evolution. I think when they started, they did want to be relatively old school. And, what they said at the start was they wanted to be sports based, and they were talking about rankings. They were talking about records. I think Tony Khan's initial vision of AEW was old school. I think that his vision was to have great in-ring. That was always going to be a cornerstone. And I think not only did he have the books and Omega, and he was looking to bring, Cody was obviously coming in. So not only was he looking to have great matches, the kind of stuff they were doing in New Japan, but I think he wanted to then have a ranking system and record wins and losses. And I think that was the crux of where AEW started. But I think as time has gone by, and I think they've become a little desperate at times for ratings, which is not a knock of AEW, because every company is desperate for ratings. But as, it's all well and good having a vision and thinking this is what I want to do. But when you do that and you start to see your ratings decline, you then need something to boost them up. And one of the things you're going to turn to is like a gimmick match, or you're going to turn to something, or you're going to do like a stadium stampede. And then, again, there's a lot of voices that were involved. There's a lot of people that want to do certain things. Some people have come from that sports entertainment world, like Jericho and Matt Hardy. And those people are going to be a little bit more inclined to do sports entertainment. And I don't know that that's what Tony wanted to do right at the start. But it's undeniable that AEW has very regularly had sports entertainment moments. There's a lot of things that they've done that you would look back on and go, well, that doesn't fit into the pro wrestling box, if you will. But I think, by and large, they try to have good in-ring products. They try to, make the action that you're seeing believable. They do need spots, though, big spots that look good on social media. I think there's a few boxes that they try to tick, and I think having big spots, certainly in like ladder matches and whatever, and maybe something from each show. Perhaps each show they're like, we need, where's the Instagrammable moment going to be in the show? Who's going to provide that big spot that everyone's going to be sharing? Every Wednesday night we need at least one clip to do the rounds. So I sort of think they're a little bit of the slave of the times. Like, you need that big moment to be shared around. You need that big moment that's going to play out on Twitter and play out on Instagram and play out on Facebook. So hence why they lean on those for like the big ladder matches and everything or whatever. And then, as I said, a lot of voices, some of them coming from a sports entertainment world, I think has muddied the water as well. So I think by and large, they do a better job of keeping it pro wrestling than what WWE do. I think they care a lot more about their in-ring product than WWE do. But I think they're still some way behind other companies that are even more focused on in-ring and even more focused on being like, what the territories were, if you will. I would imagine as well that TBS and TNT have a say of things. It might be all well and good having an idea of what you want to do, but if TBS and TNT turn around and say, we want you to do, this, or we'd love to see something along these lines, and maybe, have a voice as well, then that could be another voice that muddies the waters. Duck underneath by Jericho. Santana rolls through. Nice. I don't mind sports entertainment. I do think it needs to be more structured. It's a huge roster. AEW can be serious sports entertainment. I don't mind that, says Dragon Den. Nice strike. And again. Against the ropes. Jericho in the middle. Nice lariat. 1, 2. Jericho down, but gets the shoulder up. MJF should go to WWE. He likes promos so much. Matt said, WWE is like a circus coming to town. It's fun, fast, reliant on bright spectacle. AEW is like a traveling theatre with engaging drama. Both are okay. I wish TNT and TBS would tell Nyla Rose to compete in the men's division, says Jonathan. Larry said AEW should have a more elaborate version of NXT's Pit. Daniel said, for however much I hated the Satnam Singh debut, all his videos have got over 1 million. It seems like the Indian audience is working. Yeah, they have announced him as the Wizard. The Wizard, Chris Jericho, getting the win. And now we've got a big brawl. As Jericho Appreciation Society are in the ring. MJF would be lost in WWE. How is this going to end? Blood or guts? Is that coming up? So that is that is the end of that. Jericho Appreciation Society standing tall. I heard when AEW is at its best, it's Mid-South 2022. At its worst, it's WCW 1990, says Brenton. We're backstage with Samoa Joe. I'm coming for you. Coming tonight, we've got Deonna Purrazzo against Mercedes Martinez. Dante Martin against Rey Fenix coming up next. Just tuning in. How was the Cass debut? It was all right. He did all right. He looked great. He looked physically really, really good. I just felt he was a bit quiet. Like, I thought he would engage in the crowd more. I thought he would trash talk them more. I thought that he would fire them up more. And, like, really, like, engage with them. There was only a few brief moments that he did. The rest of the time, he just sort of quietly went about his work. It was tidy enough. There was no botches. As I said, physically, he looked good. Wardlow got the win. It wasn't the longest of matches. Yeah, there's not loads to say, to be honest. It was fine. It was fine. Wardlow and MJF have got a contract signing next week, so they are on a collision course for a match. He was a little bit reserved. It was fine. It was fine. Is Deonna going to be the main event? We are getting down to it being either her or Varsity Blondes and House of Black. Maybe she is. Maybe she is going to main event this Dynamite. It's a bit random, innit, really? I think the girl from Varsity Blondes will turn tonight and join House of Black, says Jamie. Morrissey is more business professional, like he just gets the job done, says James. Okay, we are at commercial break. 45 minutes to go. 45 minutes to go. Deonna Purrazzo and Mercedes Martin. That would be interesting if that was the main event. I certainly wouldn't have called that the Ring of Honor Women's against the Interim Women's. I definitely wouldn't have thought that would have main evented tonight, but we're running out of options if Dante Martin Phoenix is next. Unless they're going to do a big House of Black thing. Obviously, AEW is commercials. Yeah, we are at commercial. I mean, it's the same with every wrestling show, though, isn't it? They should end on House of Black so it has time to breathe. I don't know what is wrong with this goddamn camera tonight. I really, really do not know. Don't like it, does it? Don't like it at all. Right, we've got Gun Club. What have they got? A couple of presents. A couple of gifts for the Acclaimed. Got you guys gifts. Scissors. I don't know what this means. Oh, hang on. What's this? They said it was Martin and Fenix. I don't know what I've just seen. They bought them some scissors. I thought they said it was Martin against Fenix next. Oh my god. A pretty blonde with a boo-boo. Why is her eye still black? Why is it still black? Why is all this still black? Why is it still black? They had to name his Pillman's college roommate. Turner already. John Horrible's in the crowd, guys. Shout out to John Horrible. Legend. Yeah, big smile on the face of John Horrible. I mean, I love John Horrible. I got comfortable. We lost our enthusiasm. Today's a new day. Oh, whoa. Is he gonna cry? Cry, cry, cry. Let's fight. He said he's enthusiastic about keeping the group together. Oh my god, lights have gone out, guys. It's Wyndham. It's Wyndham. It's going to be Wyndham. Oh my god, the scenes. I'm sure this is Wyndham. Look, there's a guy sat on the floor. He's got horns on his head. It looks spooky. There's other people as well. I bet that's Redbeard. I bet that's Braun. House of Black. Oh, no. No, it's not Wyndham. After watching The Northman, I feel this. Lights out again. Oh my god, it's Wyndham! It's Wyndham! It's gonna be Wyndham! Lights out again! Lights out! Oh no. They're in the ring now. Lights out again! Oh my god, it's gonna be Wyndham! It's gonna be Wyndham! Lights out for a third time! Oh my god, this is sick. What a way. No one will see this coming. Oh, now they're surrounded him. No, it wasn't. Wasn't. I thought it was, but it's not. Julia's in the corner. I think we're all just waiting for her to low blow. She didn't. I was waiting for her to sneak up behind and... She's young, though. Perhaps they don't want her doing that. Do you know what I mean? That might be frowned upon. Perhaps she's too young to low blow. Don't know. Malachi's going over to Julia Hart. Spit in her other eye! Spit in her other eye! Do it, Malachi. Spit in that eye. Okay, they've grabbed her. And they've given her a chair. Have they ever done a complete wrestling match in the ring with no lights on? Not that I've seen. She went to hit him with the chair. She didn't hit him with the chair. They've took off her eye patch. Now they're all standing round shouting at her. Here's Death Triangle. What is Fenix wearing? I did not see. That was an uneventful segment, said Eraser Mind. That was bad, said Master Chief. Oh my god, he's going to do it. He's going to spit on her again. He should have took the other eye. Then she'd have two. She'd have two. Then I would allow her to be moody on in the corner. But only then. Damn, look at Jade Cargill. She decided clothes were overrated. You could tell she wasn't going to hit him as she was holding the chair the wrong way. J Brock said, I really like that segment. CM316 said that was a Raw level bad. Did you notice how her right hand has a black manicure, but her left has a pink manicure? Perhaps she's been half corrupted. Is the black the same side as the eye? Oh, still in the ring. Yeah, it is. It is still the same side as the eye. She's still in the ring. seems confused. She's just sort of like slowly wandering away. Bye. Bye. Fenix versus Dante. Julia's still out there. Yeah, she just sort of wandered off. Right, Bella sounded, and we're underway. This is a qualifying match for the Owen Hart tournament. Yeah, I mean, we are getting towards Deonna Purrazzo and Mercedes Martinez being the main event tonight. It wasn't bad, says Dragon Den. Just to let you know, I have never heard your TV as much as today. I don't want you getting in any trouble. If you are trying to get banned from wrestling, then just ignore me. Listen, if I'm going to be banned from streaming, then it would be an honor for that segment to be the segment that took me down. If that is going to be the segment that ensures we can no longer stream, then I can only wear it as a badge of honor that it's that Julia Hart House of Black segment that has sunk our little battleship. Fenix comes crashing down on Dante Martin. Will anyone take Varsity Blondes seriously? They called out a group and they got smashed. She was scared, says Greg. Rashawn said Rhea Ripley confirmed on Twitter that she and Buddy Matthews are in a relationship. Yeah, I don't understand that. I really don't care about like wrestlers' relationships, but I thought she was in a long-term relationship with a guy that she was living with and had been with her for a long time, and like I thought they were not married, but I thought like it was pretty much, do you know what I mean, living together, and they were like loved up and everything. So I'm shocked. I don't care about what wrestlers get up to in their own personal lives, but I must admit that one completely out the blue. I didn't as far as I knew, she was seeing someone, she was perfectly happy. So Jane said it's the same. Is Death Triangle heel or face? I think they're face, aren't they? I think they're face. They've just chased off House of Black. So I think they're face as well. Over the top. Against ropes goes Fenix. Dante jumps over Fenix. It feels like AEW has lost some momentum since Revolution. Nice. Fenix goes down. Fenix on the outside. Dante Martin goes against the ropes. Nice suicide dive. If you're gonna lay him, if you're laying him in like that, I don't mind watching those at all. That was a nice suicide dive. AEW. This is a family-friendly stream. Sometimes I do go a bit overboard and I say things that I shouldn't, and my message doesn't appear, and I'm all right with that. It feels like Deonna versus Mercedes Martinez is the main event. It does. It does. It does. It does. I thought Buddy was still in a relationship with Rey Mysterio's daughter. Tuck. Love Tuck. Big fan of Tuck. I'll have nothing said against Tuck on these streams. She's an absolute sweetheart, that girl. Dragon Dance says, if I showed a non-wrestling fan pictures of Jade and Britt, who do you think they would buy as the bigger star? Looks alone, Jade. Show them matches and then they'll say Britt. But if you just showed him a picture, it would be Jade, I'm sure. Nice back kick there by Fenix. What are they trying to do with Julia Hart? I think that they just seem to still be teasing this something's not right kind of narrative. To be honest, something's not right with her. She had the opportunity there to... what I will say is her not doing it when she had the opportunity to do it actually makes it a little bit... I'm going to put a bit of praise on it. Makes it a little bit more interesting, because the predictable thing was that they were about to... I thought she was going to low blow one of them, and then she didn't. And then they gave her a chair, and I thought, wow, they'll smack her with the chair, you know, she'll use the chair, and she didn't. So... yeah, weird, to be honest. Weird that she had opportunity to turn there, which is what it felt like we were building to, and she did not take those opportunities, so... it does make you think, well, where are we going with this? What is this leading towards? And that is not an obvious answer anymore. So, as much as I thought that segment was a bit flat, and I'm really not into the Julia Hart storyline, I will give them props for actually doing something that was not the predictable way forward. Crossbody by Dante Martin. Have you read about the new Star Trek? It's set before Kirk, but it has Pike and Spock in it, and it's meant to be amazing, and it's on the Enterprise. I saw pictures. I'm not a big Star Trek fan, but I've told this story before. When I was young, we didn't have loads of money at all, and so we only had, like, basic TV. We didn't have cable, but we had, like, just 4 channels, normal TV. And my cousins did, though. My cousins had cable and Sky, and they had Sky One and Sky Sports and all of that kind of stuff. So, like, Next Generation was shown, I believe, on Sky One. Certainly wasn't on normal TV. It was on Sky One, so you had to have cable to watch it. And I can remember going around my cousin's house and seeing it on TV and just being, like, blown away by... it was like a movie. It was like the production value of it, the sets, the amount of characters, like just how big everything was. It was just like, my God, it just felt like a movie. It felt like a movie, but it was a TV show. And I can remember thinking, like, wow, I'd love to sit down and watch that. It feels it feels incredible. It feels like a movie. And as a kid, you're like, oh, do you know what I mean? Like, you've just got, like, the normal programs on TV, and there's some great programs, but yeah, that felt really cool, different. There wasn't. I never saw anything on British TV that could match the production value of Next Generation when that was on. So I always had this little, like, oh, I'd love to watch that one day. And when I first started working in the entertainment store, the very first thing I bought was Series 1 of Next Generation. That was the very first thing I bought myself. And so I watched, like, the first series of that. And then, to be honest, life just, you move on, don't you, with other things, and you don't really think about it. But I started watching it around Christmas time. It's on Netflix. I started back from episode 1 of Next Generation. I just worked my way through. I got up to season 3, halfway through 3. It's great. So easy to watch, but some, like, the episodes are relatively standalone. I really enjoyed it. And Cody actually mentioned it as well. Cody was talking about Next Generation. He said there's an episode where one of the characters has to go back to their home planet, and they are tried for the crimes of their father. And he's like, sometimes I can feel that way. It feels like I get judged because I'm a Rhodes, and I'm kind of like being, tried for what my father did. And he actually referenced the Next Generation episode. So, I've not watched Deep Space Nine. I've not watched... Don't like that. They were both on the top rope. They both just did a backflip together. Reverse Rana. So, yeah, I've not watched much Star Trek. It's only Next Generation that I've ever, like, given a look to, but I would like to watch the rest of that, and then I could probably end up getting into the rest of it, to be honest. Crossbody. Dante on the shoulder of Fenix. Plants Dante. BBC America shows a lot of Star Trek. The Heroes and Icon Network, all of the series except for the animated one. Oh, thank you, John. Fenix with the dub. The new Picard is terrible. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. I don't know how Next Generation ends. I don't know how the stories link. I don't know how Discovery links to Deep Space Nine, attaches to Voyager, all this. I don't know any of that. Don't know any of it. I cannot claim to be a Trekkie. I just know that I wanted to watch Next Generation when I was young. And I've, been able to watch it since. And, yeah, really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Oh, here we go. The men's tournament. So Rey Fenix takes on Kyle O'Reilly. Samoa Joe takes on the Joker. Wow. Adam Cole takes on Dax Harwood. And Darby Allin takes on Jeff Hardy. Fake Ross Fape said, nowadays became a YouTube star beyond wealthy and single. What does that mean? What's that got to do with Next Generation? And I wish I was wealthy. If I was wealthy, I'd deal with this camera situation. We wouldn't be having this malarking around, I can tell you that much. People saying Cesaro. Cornette said Jade is AEW's #1 champion based on presentation and presents alone, she feels bigger than everyone else. While I agree, I was still surprised. I think that she does feel... I think she does feel like a big deal. I think she's still a little bit green, but she's doing a lot of work with... Is that better? She's doing a lot of work with Danielson to improve. And she is improving, so... Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I can argue with that. I mean, I think Hangman, you see once in a while. Don't see as much, do you, really? And, I don't think Jurassic Express... honestly, for a second then, I had to remember who the tag team champs even were. Thunder Rosa's reign at the moment has been brilliant. So, Jade Cargill, at least you see her compete on a pretty regular basis. They're building up that kind of undefeated streak. They have the big numbers on screen every time she beats someone. She physically looks amazing. I agree from a presentation point of view. I would agree with that, yeah. Imagine what Jade could be in 5 years' time. The original Star Trek was all about exposing that generation to race and gender relationships, sexual preferences. It's more like social engineering. Don't know. Once I've finished with Next Generation, I'd probably move on, actually. I think rather than go back, really, I suppose what I should do is start at Star Trek and just start with that and then work my way through. But Next Generation's the one that, I remember watching as a kid, seeing as a kid and being, not falling in love with. I didn't watch enough of it to fall in love with it, but just felt like a movie. I know I keep saying that, but it did. And there was not really anything on TV that I was seeing that could come close to, how that looked. So I couldn't get my head around the fact this was a show that was on every week. So I was like, wow. So, and it still stands up now. When you actually look at it now, apart from maybe some of the aliens that they encounter on the different planets, looking a bit ropey, or looking a little bit Doctor Who. Apart from that, the suits, the ship, the CGI, everything still looks great. Right, 20 minutes left here. 20 minutes left. And Thunder Rosa's coming out. Thunder Rosa. See what Thunder Rosa's got to say. Everyone's got a story to tell. I'm going to tell mine. I fought hard. Little did I know I would be a backbone for this division. I am La Mera Mera of this division. Just as Pac-Man for that match. Serena Deeb, Thunder Rosa. Be good. The Serena Deeb build starts now. I'd like to call out the number one contender. It's got to be the Professor in it. Here she is. I think this is going to be Thunder Rosa in it. I mean, to be honest, I'm Team Deeb here. I don't think anyone's been better than Serena Deeb in the women's division. You've earned exactly where you stand right now. Okay, so a bit of respect here. The best women's wrestler in the entire world needs to be champion. Let's be real. I'll say it. Deeb's better. NWA Women's Champion feud has been renewed. I'm in a class all on my own, says Deeb. Is Brian Cage natural or on steroids? The guy looks amazing, says Holloway fan. I honestly don't know. I would imagine... I mean, I don't know if AEW have steroid tests and all of that. At Double or Nothing, I'm taking your championship. Imagine if the Joker in the Owen Hart tournament is Davey Boy Smith Jr. That'd be good. That would be good. So, Thunder Rosa, Serena Deeb. Double or Nothing. Dr. Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter takes on Tony Storm and Ruby Soho on AEW Rampage. We've got Taki Shater. What? Taki Shater? Yuka Sakazaki in action as well. Darby Allin against Jeff Hardy. Adam Cole against Dax Harwood. Contract signing as well. Deeb needs to do more Deeb squads because she's got no butt, says Jonathan. That seemed really scripted. If the girls are just going to be bad at promos, they need a manager quick. I think Thunder Rosa needs a manager. I don't think promos has ever been her strong suit, to be honest. She's a great wrestler that can really throw it in and has the ability to have great matches, but her output recently, due to injury or whatever, has been a little bit behind her usual standard. Serena Deeb's just been excellent on a incredible consistent basis. So, but even Deeb's promos there didn't seem great, did they? CM Punk, John Silver next week. A good promo can make you feel something, says Zoom Station. Okay, main event time, and it is Mercedes Martinez taking on Deonna Purrazzo. Mercedes and Deonna only have 10 minutes to work on this Ring of Honor Women's Championship match. James said, let's go, Deonna. Making her way down. CM Punk should start a new team. That would help him a lot, and Dark Order aren't doing anything, says Hustle for Love. I would have preferred a 20-minute match, but it's okay. It's weird to say this has a 60-minute time limit. Maybe it does. Maybe it does. Maybe whatever comes after AEW, we're just going to have to... I'm going to have to stick with this. The Virtuosa. 115-day reign as Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. She's making her AEW debut. Legend Killer, shout out to you. Jim said Deonna Purrazzo should win this easily. Deonna Purrazzo in the ring. Mercedes Martinez in the corner. Deonna Purrazzo looks a bit weird with only one championship, says Jim. Okay, we're about to get underway then with our main event of the evening. We got 10 minutes left here. And it is Deonna Purrazzo against Mercedes Martinez. I enjoy Punk Silver. Silver is the only one of the Dark Order that's worth watching, says Brenton. A women's main event, Respect from Tony. Euroshop Becky Lynch. Alright, linking up and the two break apart. Smile on the face of Deonna Purrazzo. Looking to link up again in the R. Working on the arm. Tony said we're going to stick with this match as long as it takes. We've heard from the network. We can stick with this as long as it takes. Nice headlock here by Deonna. Mercedes driving Deonna Purrazzo back into the corner to break apart. I don't really care about Ring of Honor, says Michael. To linking up, being driven back into the corner. I do think this match needed a bit more of a build. Like, it's quite quiet in the crowd right now. I think, like, it could have done with these two doing a promo maybe on the show last week. And us, you know, being told why this mattered. And I get, you know, it's an easy story to tell. You got the women's champ against the interim women's champ. Who's going to leave as the Ring of Honor women's champ? But sort of feel like I'm not sure the crowd care if it's going to be Deonna or if it's going to be Mercedes. Picture in picture. Sounds like heaven. Have you seen your neighbours' lambs or sheep? There's none there now. They come and go. I mean, that field next to us is used for lots of different things. So there have been sheep in there. There's been cows in there as well. Horses have been in there. So it gets used for lots of different things. But right now, there's nothing in there. Just a one. One count. Deonna's new gear looks great, says Heather. Ledge Killer said, come on, Mercedes Martinez. Lister Jericho said, I'm going to pick the yellow one. Team Yellow. As Mercedes Martinez flops down. Chop coming in. She goes down again. Club across the back. Lister Jericho said, I've got horses in the field next to my house. Well, you haven't got to brag about it. Working on the arm. That's nice. I like how Mercedes Martinez is screaming in pain there. Over in the corner. Deonna Purrazzo wrapping Mercedes Martinez's arm around that ring post. Tony should keep it as it is. Surprise the people with new superstars, says Hustle for Love. Both of the women are underwhelming. No one cares, and you can tell by the silence in the crowd. This is the wrong women's main event, says Zoom Station. Mercedes Martinez down on the outside of the ring. I don't know if we're still in picture or not. Deonna Purrazzo down in the ring and Mercedes Martinez being counted out. Deonna Purrazzo manages to get to the outside. She's grabbing Mercedes Martinez. Both on the outside right now. Forearm strike. 8. 9. About to be counted out. What are we up to? Oh. This match is under Ring of Honor rules, so they've got till 20. Could they not have told us that at any point? They got up to 10, and I was like, what? And then he went 11, 12. And Excalibur's like, yeah, this is under Ring of Honor rules. Oh, they can use that at any time now. They can use that anytime. If they're on the outside and it gets to 10, 11, they haven't quite made it, and they'll be like, it's a good job this is using Ring of Honor rules. Forearm strike by Deonna Purrazzo. I agree. It's like an NXT match main event in Raw. Clothesline, down goes Deonna. I can't believe I'm saying this, but in this case, a video package explaining why this is a big deal would have helped, says Ron. Yeah. Big kick. Missile drop kick by Mercedes Martinez. It's for the Ring of Honor Women's title. It's obviously under Ring of Honor rules. But it's in an AEW ring. It's in an AEW ring. And plus also, to be perfectly honest with you, I completely forgot that they had a 20 count in Ring of Honor. I think you've got to remember as well, there's a lot of people that don't watch Ring of Honor. So to them, that's a kind of useful bit of information that maybe could have been, shared beforehand. Big kick by Deonna. We need a Julia Hart run-in. 20 count out loss should be something interesting to watch, says Baka Yuka. Jilly said, I'm surprised that no one dressed up as Star Wars characters. It's May 4th. They've dressed up as Street Fighter characters and Rick and Morty characters. I think maybe if Kenny Omega was there, he'd do it. He'd do it. Until you can pay Tony's bills, you can put whatever you want. Kick out by Deonna Purrazzo. Can The Miz invoke Ring of Honor rules if he wants? I have no idea. Sure. James said if people aren't watching Ring of Honor, that's their problem because they should be. Back elbow by Mercedes Martinez. One, two. Shoulder up. I know Ring of Honor because I believe Tony Khan bought the company. Many people believe the catalogue should be available to watch. Well, I'm sure he will make it available. I don't know where it will be made available, but that's certainly a way of bringing money in, either selling it to a streaming service or setting up, I think they had a Ring of Honor club thing that I think let you watch that. So I don't know how he'll monetize it, but that would seem an easy way to get some money back in from buying it. So I'm sure that will be made available. They were sponsored by Rick and Morty. Disney isn't sponsoring them here. Strike coming in by Mercedes Martinez. Plants Deonna Purrazzo. Stomp, down goes Deonna Purrazzo. She's trying to get a surfboard, I think, applied here. Going for Dragon Sleeper and Deonna Purrazzo biting on the arm. There's Dragon Sleeper. Dragon Sleeper applied by Mercedes Martinez. Deonna Purrazzo taps. And Mercedes Martinez has won. So Mercedes Martinez is the undisputed Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. Probably makes sense because she is under AEW contract. Deonna Purrazzo isn't. She lost. She lost. Both Impact stars got buried, says Nelson. Right. That was the main event of this week's AEW Dynamite. So, we're seeing Mercedes Martinez down on her knees, holding up both titles. And that was AEW. 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 Right, what do you score AEW Dynamite? What do you score it out of 10? What did you think of this week's show? Did you enjoy it? Did you rate it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What did you think of AEW? Becky, you said, how is that believable? J14 said, I was expecting Purrazzo to win, but they probably want a Ring of Honor Women's Champion to be from AEW and not Impact. David says 7. Jonathan said 7.77. Ribby said Xia Li straight knocked Martinez out with a crazy wheel kick in NXT. Shaquem said it was an alright show, not a big show. Well, Shaquem with a 6, Jay with a 7, to heel with a 7, Jilly with a 7, let him in with a 6, Greg with an 8. I'm going to deduct points for the 2 burials, 6.5. Jim says Deonna Purrazzo was robbed. Sonny with a 6, Heather with a 7.75. Why change a title with no builds? Tony Khan is terrible booker, says Jay Brock. He buried Purrazzo. Larry said, I lost interest in the main event. Edward gives it 6.45. I know she's my friend, but I wanted Deonna to win, says Tori. Timmy says 10 out of 10. Larry with 6.5. Shaquem with a 6. Do you think the Joker against Samoa Joe could be Miro? Would you be up for that match? Yeah, I don't mind that match. I feel like a Joker definitely gets people's hopes up, though, for it being a new face. But, I don't know. They've got so many people on their roster. They probably don't need it to be a new face. So, I think Miro's a very interesting shout. I think that's a very interesting shout. Hustle for Love. Shout out for you. Appreciate the support. James said 6 out of 10. Points off for the BS ending. Jennifer Lockhart. Shout out to you, my friend. I hope you're well. Says, anyone notice how Murphy hasn't changed? He's just joined another cult, brackets like Seth's, and has a thing for the young ones, brackets just like Tuck. Listen, Jennifer, I didn't think I'd have to teach you this about men, but they don't change. They're filthy animals, right? They'll tell you that they'll change, but they won't. If ever a guy says, I can change, they won't. They can't. We're incapable. Once I think we form our personalities and who we are as, young boys, and we never deviate from that. That is it. It's just one track, and that's it. There's no twists and turns and big life discoveries if you're a guy. You're just a filthy animal and you stay that way. So that's what he is, basically. He doesn't like being on his own, so he has to be in a group. And he does have something for the youngsters. Not to the point where it's a legal issue. I'm not implying that. But just to the point where people have a little look over and go, not sure about that one. Not sure about him. Keep your eye on that one. Keep your eye on that one. Just to that level. And, yeah, he won't change. He won't change. I'm going to give you some advice, Jennifer. Keep clear. Keep clear. Don't go anywhere near that, Buddy Murphy. You stay out the way. Sapphire says, give me a shout out. Sapphire King done. Ernesto said Ray Phoenix Dante was good. I give it an 8. Legend Killer says 7. Drift Zone said Raw was better. That'll go down well in this chat. Erase Your Mind says 7.5. We've nearly 100 votes come in here, so we're nearly at 100 votes. Be interesting to see what's that plays out at. Deonna couldn't keep it forever. She is an Impact talent, and Deonna took it off Roxy before so that she could go to WWE. That's the truth. 9.7. Cliff said 8. It's a solid show. Heather says 7.75. That's the main problem with all these ex-WWE talent going to AEW. They just do stuff that they will be content with, and they don't break through to the next level. Hustle for Love said Phoenix was great for the company. Matt says 8.5. Lee says 6. I think what I enjoyed the most here might have been Blackpool Combat Club. I think that match might have been my favourite. What was the opening match? Oh, Fish and Jeff Hardy. That was all right. That was all right. I kind of feel like this is another one that's just an average edition of Dynamite for me personally. I think that when you had things like Inner Circle and, you know, like Danielson having his solo matches, I don't know if they ever happened on the same issue, episode, but those are the kind of things that I think really make things pop. And, yeah, I did think that the main event as a match was okay. Like, as a match, it was all right, but the crowd were just really quiet. Really, really quiet. I do think that they could have done more to have built that up and made it feel like a big deal. Could have had a contract signing last week or, you know, something just to have, you know, made it feel like the big deal this week. Instead, it was felt like a bit of a flat way to end the show from a crowd perspective. I think they wanted something else to like really get their teeth into. So I'm gonna give it a 6.5. I think there's not really anything here that I thought was bad or flat or whatever. But it was just like, yeah, that's good, that's all right, that's good. But I think Dynamite's been much better, much more engaging. There's been bigger stories, let's put it that way, and there's been bigger things playing out, you know, when you had Kenny Omega and, you know, all that kind of stuff happening. And it just feels like none of that's really bubbling away at the moment. 115, let's see what people think. There's a real mixture of thoughts on this one. They needed to bring in the big guns. Max Caster, says Jonathan. Here we go. So, 52%. Wow. The vast majority. That is a big score. That is a big score. Normally, we get like 20% here, 15% there, 10% here. 52%. Over half said this was 7 to 7.75. So it seems like, you know, the vast majority fall into that bracket, and, you know, decidedly so. And then how interesting that the next one is 20% and 20%. So vast majority 7 to 7.5, and then 20% went above, 20% went below, and the 5.75 was the absolute rank outsider. So really, really interesting. Really interesting. I do like doing those polls. Sometimes they do come back with, like, sometimes they seem a little bit, I don't know, like the hardcores have got to them, and like clearly a show that was an 8 out of 10 gets an 8 to 10, and you go, Okay. But that one feels genuine. That one feels like, do you know what I mean? People have been honest there and gone, I think this is 7-7, 7-5. Over half people thought that, and then 20% above, 20% below. So I like that. Very good. Very, very good. Right, we're done. Appreciate people joining us for this AEW stream. We are back. Well, on this channel, we're back on Friday. We are starting early for Rampage. So Rampage, don't forget Rampage is on at 5:30 Eastern, which is 10:30 UK time. We are going to watch that. So we're starting early, especially for Rampage. So we're going to watch Rampage. Then we'll just go straight through. I think Rampage will finish at 11:30. I don't think it's an hour and a half. I think it finishes at 11:30. Then, you know, that means that we will have an hour and a half to chat about what we've just seen and what's coming up on SmackDown, and then we'll go into SmackDown. So we are starting early this Friday. I've already changed the stream, so awesome. Right, appreciate the support. Have a good evening wherever you are, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.